Snappy Tomato Pizza here. The Skyhawk Talk radio program program continues. The director of athletics, Phil Dane, joins us. Phil, I might be a little nervous. It's been a while since you've been on Skyhawk
Yeah,
Talk.
It is.
We were trying to decide, maybe 2003 or 4?
I don't know. The people want to hear these coaches, but glad. Talk to my colleagues more involved in football scheduling than any other sport. Really, the only thing, some are more involved in basketball, but Jason James does all of our basketball, but for some reason ADs do that, and a big part of it is the money aspect from these guaranteed games. So I kind of enjoy it, get to meet some interesting people and some bigger names in the sport and so forth. But everything we do, I run by Jason, and we don't play a game that he's not willing to play. Some ADs just say, hey, we're playing Arkansas. But we don't do that, and we try to work it out to try to fit the team that we think we're going to have that year, that particular year. And this year it worked out real nice. We feel like we've got a good team, and had two FBS opponents that are good programs. Memphis is obviously down right now, but Northern Illinois, when we signed that contract, was not as good. Coach Kill, I don't know how many people know this, but Coach Jerry Kill, who was the coach at SIU Carbondale in 2006, we went to the playoffs, left there, went to Northern Illinois, built that program into a great program, and now he's at the University of Minnesota. But his efforts are still reflected there because they've developed a great program. So they were a very good team, but you hope to try to match years with real strong teams that are years when you're going to have a good team, and that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The
difficulty of that is that it's so far in advance. How far out have you already scheduled games?
Well, we have guaranteed games scheduled out through, this is 12, 13, 14, and 15. We play Boise State next year. Good chance we're going to play Memphis again next year, although the contract's not signed, so that'd be 2 games again next year. And then in 14, and I can't keep it straight, it's either Kentucky and Ole Miss or Ole Miss and Kentucky those 2 years, and that's as far out as we've gone. I don't like to go that far normally, but Kentucky and Ole Miss are such easy games for us to travel to, easy games for our fans to travel to, and while the money is not as good as some of the others that you hear about, it's not an expensive place to get our team to. So we went ahead and did those, wishing the money could have been a little bit better, but it's kind of like gambling. You can hold out and wait till somebody's desperate. For example, Savannah State and Florida State game this past weekend got a lot of attention on the internet and other places because that was such a big mismatch.
What was the pay?
I don't know what they paid, but they probably paid well because West Virginia bought their way out of a game with Florida State, which left Florida State, begging for a game at a very late hour. So that's probably, Savannah State had already played Oklahoma State and probably had that game on their schedule for a while. And then when Florida State called, they probably said, hey, let's just go ahead and do 2.
And their score was better against Florida State, right?
Well, because they ended the game early in the third quarter. It was 55 to nothing. It was 55 to nothing early in the third quarter, and I was watching scores on my computer, and it said delayed. So they have a little line on ESPN.com where you can hit conversation, and I went over there to see why it was delayed. Found out it was a lightning delay, and one of the comments on one of the bloggers was, even God feels sorry for Savannah State. So I thought that was kind of funny that they thought God got involved and got them off the hook. But yeah, they ended that game like some people thought our game might get ended at Memphis. But both teams have to mutually agree, and in a lopsided game like that, it does make sense to keep playing.
Phil, going into this interview, and it has been a while since you've been on Skyhawk Talk, you became the director of athletics in 2000, is that
2000.
Correct? 2000. Right. And I was just talking with someone the other day how much better I feel our athletic department is since you've been there, and I can name 40 things, including the quality of the student athletes and the coaches and how much better our teams are. And from a facility standpoint, I just wanted to go through some of the things that maybe you're not fully responsible for but have been improvements that you're proud of.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's been a team effort. I think it all starts with the coaches that we've hired have bought into. We have a set of a mission statement, and we have some governing values that back up that mission statement, and I go over that with everybody that we hired. And everybody that's been hired in the last 13 years hasn't been the right choice, but I think we've now settled into a group of coaches that have bought into what we stand for, and that's reflected in the grades. To have an overall GPA of 3.0 last spring, like we did for student athletes, that doesn't happen because the AD's preaching it. It happens because the coaches are preaching it to the student athletes. And I guess the area that I'm most proud of for our program is the area of facilities, and that is a credit to so many people. Nick and Kathy Dunning around here at Snappy's tonight, and getting to enjoy visiting with them. But he had a big role to play in that, because the Bob Carroll football building, when he became chancellor, was not targeted to be where it sits now. It was going to be somewhere else on campus, and Nick and I got together and said, nobody's going to believe we're committed to football at UT Martin if we don't build this building at the football stadium. And he agreed, and we did. And recruiting, that, to me, that decision was a catalyst for so many other things that happened thereafter. We won a football championship as a result of better recruiting, and the student body gets behind a student fee increase so that all the athletes and teams can be successful. And so it's been the student body, chancellors, and donors. Gosh, we couldn't have done it without donors. The turf, the building, and other things. And our next big project, on our radar right now is a new press box / club level / academic support center at the football stadium that could serve all our athletes. So we're looking forward to getting that off the ground here in the next couple of years.
Do you think one of the reasons you had this foresight or this vision or this dream or these hopes is being from the area? And like I am, a little bit more community-minded, I guess, because you've been here the whole time and you kind of know what it means to the campus and to Northwest Tennessee and Weakley County.
Well, I never really thought of that except in this context, and that, when I became the athletic director, I knew from day one this was the last job I was going to have, no matter whether it went north or south, that I didn't have any intention of trying to parlay this into an athletic director's job at another school, and I think that shows up some in the way I manage, and because frankly, some athletic directors don't make decisions that they ought to make because for politically that's not the best interest of them moving on to another job. But I've never had that on my mind at all. Never applied for another job at another school, because I am committed to not just staying here because it's home, but because I want to see UT Martin be all that I think it can be.
One of the things we've not talked about from a facility standpoint with you or Jerry Carpenter is the golf facility. Tell us. A lot of people don't drive by that very much. So what is that like?
Well, while golf is not really a spectator sport, really not designed to be a spectator sport at our level, I am more proud of that facility, I think, than just about anything we've done, because of the connection to our academic mission. It's a learning laboratory for our soil and turf management students, and unless you're real close to it, you don't realize just how well respected that program is under Dr. Wes Totten's leadership. He's placed internships in turf management at some of the most prestigious golf courses in the country, and Congressional and Sawgrass, and all over the country, and that helps us in a student recruitment standpoint. But that was a partnership with the fiscal plant and academics. And nobody else in our conference has something like that, and it's literally a walk from the heart of campus, and our athletes can go over and practice.
So describe it for us, for those who have not been there.
Well, it's about a 10-acre tract of land that is maintained basically like a one-hole golf course. It's not just a driving range. A lot of times you go to a driving range, you stand in one place, you hit balls, and somebody goes and picks up the balls for you. But this area is maintained like a fairway, in that the golfers can go out and practice any kind of lie that they choose. Ball below their feet, above their feet, in rough, but then the major part of the area is maintained just like the best fairway you would find anywhere, in the best course in Memphis. And they can take shots back toward 2 USGA specified greens, where we've got the sprigs from the University of Georgia in exchange for pledging, research, work on those grasses that are there. And has a 8,000 square foot tee box, fairway bunkers, sand bunkers. If you haven't driven by and walked across it, you really ought to. It's the nicest facility of its kind in the Ohio Valley Conference, and as nice as some in bigger conferences.
I think, based on what I see, it's already helped our recruiting for sure.
Yeah, and it could help your game, Chris, if you go by and try it out, because I've seen you play.
Yeah. Look, it's gotten worse with wrist surgery in the off season. Coach Simpson's going to join us in a moment. I just want to give you an opportunity to invite the fans to come out Thursday night to the big home opener.
I really hope they will. I mean, this is an exciting team, and I tell a number of people, you can see athletes that are as good as SEC athletes if you come watch UT Martin play. You won't see as many of them, obviously, but you're going to see people in Quentin Sims and Montour Hughes and Derek Carr, and I could just go on that are the caliber athlete to play at that level. We just don't have as many as they do, and we're not as deep as they are. But and you can do it in an up-close, personal way that you can't do, going to some of the bigger stadiums. So I hope people will come out. It's time. Coach Simpson's been challenging people to go mad and make a difference, and you can make a difference if you're out there by coming and buying a ticket or joining our Skyhawk Club and getting behind this team, because I really think we have a team this year that is going to go deep into the schedule and deep into the conference race, and then hopefully even get a spot in the playoffs.
Okay, thank you, Phil. It's been a long time. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Skyhawk Talk